Hello, everyone. My name is Brahim Mansa Cologne. Welcome to Kingdom Talks. I'm here with a special guest, and I'm going to ask him to briefly introduce himself to the audience.
My name is Paul Adeleye. I pastor one of the parishes of the Redeemed Christian Church of God in the United Kingdom. I also lead a group called Global Evangelism, our revival movement. Our aim is to ensure that we get the gospel across to people in the world, no matter your denomination. I was a Muslim. I got saved in London, United Kingdom, 5 daily prayer, Muslim, studied the Quran in English.
Wow.
I had a first degree in chemistry. I had a second degree in evangelism and church growth and missions. And I started my career as a banker and worked in the bank, left as an investment analyst, I became a practice manager in the UK, and I left in 2008, I think January, then I started full-time ministry in March 2008. I've been a full-time pastor and a street evangelist since 2008.
Wow. I usually like to ask, thank you very much, Pastor Paul. It's very interesting because I like to ask my guests how they came about giving their life to Jesus. And you were a former Muslim. Can you explain to the audience how that transition took place?
I would say a time came in my life sometime in 2005. I would precisely. I think I needed peace because there were so many things going on around me.
Yes.
I had a good job, had property, had a nice car, had everything, but I lacked peace, So I just remember I have a Christian friend, and Sonny by name. I went to greet him and he was playing some Christian music. So I told him, I like these songs. He said, oh, I will do it for you. So he just did the CDs for me and gave it to me. So I took those CDs, I started playing them in my car. Little I knew that I was not going to remove those CDs till I became a Christian. So towards the end of October, I was fasting, a Muslim. So once I was fasting, my wife happens to be a Christian, but me a 5 daily Christian. Okay, so I was fasting. So I just had this, my mother-in-law said to me that, oh, your daughter, take her to church today. The mother has left her, take her. So it was the little girl that I was going to take to church. At that time of my life, so many things were happening. My wife, we are having some issues, so many things were happening. So I just entered this church to drop the little girl, but I sat down, so I sat down in the church and to listen to the pastor. So as I listened to the pastor, in my heart, because I went to a primary school that is Seventh-day Adventist, they taught us John 14, let not your heart be trouble. If you believe in God, believe in me. My father's house, there are many mansions. So that was going on in my. That was what I was thinking of. So when I entered, the pastor came from Nigeria to the UK, and I didn't know that he told his family that God sent him for one man, and that one man will be saved. Yeah, and that God will use that one man that he will save around the nations of the world. So I don't even know what was going on. So I just remember he too was a Muslim. So he preached about that he was a Muslim, and that when he got saved, he saw John 14 that was going on in my heart. So when he did the altar call or the call of it, he said, is there anybody here who wants to give this life to Christ? And I just had in my heart a voice say, go out. And another voice said, no, don't go out. But the voice that said go out just spoke once and didn't speak again. So I just found myself in front of him. I was the only one that got saved. And from that moment, I got saved, and I've been a Christian ever since. I've not looked back.
Oh my God. Thank you for that interesting story. This is what I've come to learn when it comes to our faith is that as believers, we are saved to save others. And we're also saved to serve, right? This is God's desire. It says that he desires everyone to come to the knowledge of him. He desires to show mercy. He desires to justify. He desires for people to be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. So God is really into the saving business of soul. Explain to us, some of us that don't really know the importance of evangelism, because evangelism is really about people. But us as Christians, we don't see it as important as attending service. Yes, we might not be called to be an evangelist, but that commandment go into all the world, applies to every believer. You don't have to be a minister to share Jesus with somebody at work, with somebody that you're hanging around with. Man of God, kindly emphasize the importance of evangelism because many people are lost. And we live in a time where people are looking for answers, people are confused.
Thank you. Thank you so much. When I train people, I tend to train them to understand a soul winner and an evangelist. You know, I say to them that if I say evangelism or be an evangelist, you will say to me that, oh, it's a call. I'm not called to be an. So then I say to them, you are a soul winner, a witness. I say, because that's everybody is called to be a witness. Go ye into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Mark 16:15. I said that Mark 16:15 is meant for everyone.
Yes,
Paul was speaking, he said, God said to him, you will be a witness of what you have seen and heard. Acts 22:15. Acts 22:15. So if you are saved and you've seen that God can deal with emotional issues like anger, pride, if God can deal with immorality, he can fix up broken people, then you have something in your heart to share with others. You have something to deliver others. You are called a witness to testify of that which you know God can do. You know, recently I'm in a group because I used to be student union president, University of Lagos. So I was in a group, and in this group, they said some people are complaining because I share some Christian literature. So I told the gentleman, I said, look, you put some offensive stuff, I don't complain. I believe so much in my faith that what I'm sharing, the literature will deliver someone, will save someone. You understand? Will save someone. You know? So if you are a Christian, you have a mandate to reach out to someone.
Yes.
A life-saving mandate. It may be just your word that will save that individual. Imagine how I got saved. If that man have not preached the gospel, how will I be saved?
That's true, yeah.
There are various means you can share your faith. You can tell people about your testimony, what God is doing in your life. And that does help a lot of people. I've used that to help a lot of people. Telling people you are on in the brink of life, you are going down. I know someone that can give you peace.
Help, yes.
And we know that you can't find peace or any peace in money, in riches. Recently, I'm doing a series on Zacchaeus. I said Zacchaeus was a rich man.
Yes, sir.
He was a rich man, the Bible says, but he was a sinner. And though he was rich, he had to climb a sycamore tree to have a view of Jesus. And so you can see that Jesus is seeking. Some people have struggles, they are seeking Jesus. So you just need to be that person that will present yourself with the gospel and say, well, I have good news for you. I've seen so many Muslims saved. I've seen so many drugs. We have witnessed to so many people. There was a time I was in Chicago in a hotel. I was checking out and they were coming to pick me. And I saw this guy sitting there and I just had in my spirit to go and speak to him. So I went to this guy. This guy was a very rich guy. And he said to me, oh, it's God that will have really led it. He said, because I have money. He said, I have money. I'm into property. He said, but I'm facing a painful divorce. I can't figure it out. And that's why he came to Chicago to relax his mind. He said, my wife, for no reason, was to separate. And he has money. You know, I spoke to her about Jesus, told her about Jesus. And he said, look at how strategically God placed him so that I can speak to him. What if I've been quiet? Our world seeks Jesus. Our world needs Jesus. Now, the way things are in the world with the COVID that has gone on, with the economic crisis, with all that is going on in the world, We need Jesus. And as Christians, we have that Jesus. And we need to tell people about our Jesus. You don't need to be an evangelist to do it. You just need to obey the command to be a witness.
Thank you so much, Pastor Paul, for really opening our eyes to know the significance and the urgency of this, that God can use whatever means, as you said, our testimonies, He can use the word, our actions to save souls. And one thing that I've learned is that salvation does not discriminate.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think that salvation is just for the poor. It's just for those in Africa. We live in a diaspora. We live in a white man's land. These people, they need Jesus more than us. They can be rich. They can be educated. Everybody needs Jesus. So it's not just for the poor. It's not just for the rich. It's not just for the blacks. It's not just for the white. It's not just for the male. It's not everybody. Yeah. So this leads me to another question regarding this path. When you get somebody saved, because there's one thing to get somebody to receive Jesus, then there's a follow-up. So there's salvation, there's discipleship. I can give an instance about my life. When I gave my life to Jesus, that was it. I accepted Jesus, but there was no discipleship. And I was going back to the world. But then what really helped me is I started listening to men of God online. And then I found myself in a church where I connected, where I started serving. So what would you do, or what strategy would you implement when you save somebody? And would you invite them to come to your church? Would you be there for them, like physically present in your life? Take their number, call them once in a blue moon and check on them?
We've been in the evangelism ministry for some time. Okay. So we have strategized over many years now.
Wonderful.
Now, we are kingdom builders. We are not restricted to getting people just into our church. We get people in churches across the nation, sometimes across the world, because sometimes we have to search. Just recently, I've just spoken to someone over the week to locate, that came from Africa, to locate a seller to a church. So we do follow. So now, discipleship is key. You get people into the church, then you follow them up with Christian literature. Because people need encouragement and they need good Christian literature. And that's what you were doing online. And that's what we do, a lot of short videos. We do videos about dreams, about salvation, about different stuff. So when we get people into the kingdom, we try to tell them, look, those videos will help you. Just listen to one at a time. And we say to people, if you have all our tracks, we have numbers at the back. If you have any problem, if there is something you don't understand, you give us a call. And so we will try to explain to you. I'm fortunate that my wife went to do masters in Christian counseling. So if you have to do with, we strategize all this stuff. So you have issues that have to do with Christian counseling. We also counsel you in the Christian way. But discipleship is key so that the people can be fed and have the truth. Otherwise, they will lose faith. Yes. Because the devil is always after the salvation of people. So you got to follow them up, set up a Bible plan for them, tell them to listen to get the Bible out, because the Bible has Bible plans. Yes. You understand? They have verse of the day to listen, and those guys, they are doing well. Get them to the some like our own network, within network, what they call open heavens. Some other people have their own. You get for them to get Christian literature and read, and let them see Jesus from the eyes of the Bible. Because if they see Jesus from the eyes of the Bible, it's good for them. If they don't follow Jesus blindly, when things happen, they'll start saying, but these people say they are Christian. Why are they behaving to me like this in the church?
Interesting.
Well, you point them to the Bible, read the Bible, so you understand the Jesus of the Bible. So when you are discipled based on the Jesus of the Bible, you are rooted. You stay in the church because you know that you are not a following man. You're following Jesus. So whatever man does, you compare his character, his behavior to what is in the Bible. If it's not the same, you just that's just that man. That's not the way my Jesus. So that's it.
Oh, thank you, man of God. So when a new believer is saved, you introduce them to the word to really know their savior from
yeah,
the word as their foundation.
yes, yeah. That's the key.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
the key.
Wow.
Not the pastor say, not
Mm,
I. My pastor say, is the Bible says.
mm,
That's Christianity. The
wow.
Bible, it is written. You know,
Mm,
my pastor says my pastor can yeah, my pastor can make mistake. My pastor is human being, but the Bible can't make mistake.
mm,
It is written, can't make mistake. It says,
wow.
"For oh Lord, your word is settled."
Mm,
Any man built up in the world stands his ground, is able to fight challenges, and he grows. And that's what helped me.
mm,
And that's what helped the people.